The Captain's Log Radio with your host, Captain Jonathan Moss.
Good morning and welcome to the Captain's Log Radio. This is Captain Jonathan Moss, and this is the weekend report. It's Saturday morning. I should probably be talking a little quieter. My kids are still in bed. My wife's asleep. I'm getting ready to go fishing out on the Mosquito Lagoon. Okay, it's wintertime. It's February 1st. This week, the weather's been, perfect here in Central Florida. Last week, it was frigid. I don't know if you saw me on social media at the Captain's Log TV on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, but I was freezing, dressed like an Eskimo. I had one morning where it was with a wind chill 28 degrees. Freezing cold. This week, beautiful. Temps almost at 80 degrees. That water temp, though, is still chilly. These fish are still cold. Think about the type of fishing I'm doing with my guiding. The majority of what I'm doing is inshore saltwater fishing for redfish, trout, black drum this time of year, and then snook and tarpon as it warms up. It's cold. Yesterday, the water temp was in the low 60s. A couple of weeks ago, it was in the mid 40s. Additionally, with this time of year, we get a lot of north winds. So these cold fronts coming through, we get a lot of north winds. And where I fish in the Mosquito Lagoon, we have no tide. There's no water flow. Now, on the northern end of the Mosquito Lagoon, up in New Smyrna area, Edgewater, there is tide flow. But in the Middle Lagoon and the South Lagoon, where I spend the majority of my time, and in the northern portion of the Indian River Lagoon, again, another place I spend a ton of time, there's no tide flow. So water only moves with the north wind. Water only moves when the wind blows, okay? There's the water flow, the water movement is based on the wind. Doesn't matter what direction it's blowing. If the wind's blowing, water's moving that direction. And when we get these cold fronts coming through in the wintertime, we get a heavy north wind. And it will flush, it'll push water out of the Mosquito Lagoon, out of the Indian River, meaning the water levels are going to get really, really low. It's probably down a foot and a half. It's really skinny, really skinny. Additionally, this time of year when that water gets cold, it clears up. It's gin clear right now. It's crystal clear, which is beautiful. Great for our grass. Sunlight is able to penetrate the bottom. Photosynthesis can occur. The grass is getting fed. That's great for our estuary. But with low water and with clear, clean water, man, these fish can see you. It's great for sight fishing. You can see them. But you have to really take into consideration a few things. Okay, number one, you need to make sure that you can cast accurately and far distance. Because if you get too close to these fish, they're going to spook off. They're going to see you. They're going to feel you. So it's crucial that you can cast accurately and distance. Okay? A way you can do that. My favorite inshore setup is 7.6 medium. This is a TFO blue bite rod, but it's a 7.6 medium. And pair that with a smaller 1,000 to 4,000 is what I like for inshore. 2,500 to 3,000 is probably my favorite sizes. I love the 1,000 because it's tiny. 10-pound braid to 15-pound braid. That 10-pound braid is a lighter diameter, thinner diameter line, so you can cast it further. Okay. It's crucial for me, though, for my clients to get the fish in the boat. So I typically bump up to 15 because I need them to get the fish in the boat. But having a light setup, okay, a longer rod, fast action rod that I can really load and cast makes all the difference. Okay? Quality reel, quality rod. Get the best that you can afford because you're going fishing to catch fish. And you need to be able to cast it far, especially this low water, this clean, clear water. It's number one. Okay? You need to cast accurately. Okay, that's number one. Number two, and this is something I experience all the time. Think about it. I have people on my boat from all over the world, and majority of them have never fished inshore saltwater fishing before. They've never done it. The guy I had on the boat today, well, yesterday, uh, never had no experience inshore saltwater fishing. Okay. You have to be quiet. And it's not just your volume of your voice. I'm talking moving around the boat. Okay. When you're casting, it's super important that your feet are planted. If you're throwing a fly rod, okay, you're not rocking your lower torso. Everything is up. Okay. Because if I'm pushing with my lower torso, if I'm rotating my hips, trying to really get that, first off, you're not going to get the distance you want because you're not allowing the rod to do what it's supposed to do. You're not allowing the rod to load and shoot your fly line. Okay. Number two, you are pushing water. You are pushing out vibration. You are creating noise. Might not be very audible for you. You might not hear it. Fish do. They feel it. They know you're there. And especially with that clean, clear water, they're going to see you. They're going to feel you. They're going to take off. Okay. So if you're throwing fly, don't use your lower torso. Keep it up here. If you're throwing spin, same deal. Don't force that cast so hard that you're losing your balance. If you're walking around the boat, you're doing so quietly. And honestly, if you're on the front of the boat and you have someone pulling, you need to be in the center of of the front deck. That's going to help your guide or your buddy who's pulling, whoever's in the back pulling. You need to be centered. That way the boat is level. Okay. And you need to be still. If you decide, hey, I'm gonna take a break, thirsty, I'm hungry, I'm gonna hop into the cooler. On my boat, my jump seat on my center console is insulated. That's my cooler. Okay, that's where I put my drinks, my food. I use reusable ice blocks. I throw it in there. It's nice and cold. It lasts me all day long. If you're going in that hatch, that cooler lid needs to be lifted and shut quietly. I can't tell you how many times I've had a group of fish in front of me. I'm like, oh, get up, dude, get up, get up, get up. Your break's done. We got a group of tails right here in front of us. Okay, and then they slam the lid shut to the cooler, to the jump seat. There goes this fish. Gotta be quiet. It's crucial. If you're stepping around the boat too heavy, again, you're going to move water. You're going to disturb those fish. You're going to make noise. They're going to hear it, and they're going to scatter. So think about that. For a long, accurate cast, and I want to move around quietly. I want to shut lids quietly. If you're pulling in the back, be careful that you don't hit your power pole or you don't hit your motor or you don't drop your push pole. That can happen easily. Got it between your legs and you're picking up a rod and you're moving around so you can make a cast. Everything has to be thought out so that you don't have a mistake. You don't make a mistake and scare those fish. It's cold. It's clear. I'm using a 20-pound leader. I'm not fishing a ton of structure. The water's so low right now in my area that I'm not fishing around mangroves. Yes, there's mangroves on the shoreline, but the water is pushed away from them. So the fish aren't up in the mangroves like they would be during the summer, seeking out shelter and shade. Okay. So I'm not worried about breaking off on stuff. But my two focuses, my two biggest things, I want to make a long, accurate cast, and I want to be quiet moving around the boat. Hey, Saturday morning, I want to hear from you. I want to see what you're catching this weekend. So hit me up on social media at the Captain's Log TV, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram at the Captain's Log TV. And of course, you can follow along on all of my adventures, everything I'm doing whether that be the radio show or the TV show. You can watch everything on YouTube. You can watch everything on Waypoint. You can listen to our radio show on the Outdoor Radio Network. You can go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart. You can watch and listen on YouTube. Anywhere that you are consuming content, we're probably there. So check us out. And please send me your pictures. I want to see your fishing reports. I want to see what you're catching. I want to know how you are doing out on the water. Hey, have a great, safe weekend. This is Captain Jonathan Moss with your weekend report. See you guys next time.
Thanks for listening to the Captain's Log Radio with your host, Captain Jonathan Moss.